Jeremy Lin, biggest story we've seen here in New York for a long time. As a guy who's a pro athlete at the highest level, have you ever seen a guy have a breakthrough like this? I mean, literally come out of nowhere.
Well, you know, I'm trying to think of, we've been racking our brains, and there have been guys that have come through that have been one-hit wonders, and you know, I've done it on the baseball field and the football field, but never has a guy who has touched the ball as much as Jeremy has, and has done it now for about 2 weeks as we sit here and speak. Captivated not only, I believe, a basketball fan base, the Knicks, but an entire city, an entire country, and then given his Asian background, the amount of support that he's receiving from the Asian community as well. So it is a tremendous story. And for those of us in sports talk radio, I'd like to thank personally Jeremy Lin for keeping it interesting around here.
Yeah, I hear you, especially after the Giants win the Super Bowl. Oh, that's right, they won the Super Bowl.
They did win the Super Bowl, and you would have never, you know, like we forgot about that.
Right.
But the other thing that's going on around here is you have two hockey teams that are having great seasons. That's the New York Rangers, of course, who've only lost 13 games. And the Devils, who now, while toiling at the bottom of the standings, are rising and rising and rising.
But nobody knows it in New York.
And we could have an epic playoff battle between those two teams. So I would tell you this, that while Jeremy Lin is definitely the story of the year thus far, I would say that the hockey thing still has a lot to play out here.
Interesting with the hockey, because I remember '94. How does this team compare to '94? Because I haven't even had a chance to watch that much of it.
Well, it's a younger team. And it's a team that, you know, has bits and pieces that they went out and got, Marion Gaborik being one of them, and of course Brad Richards. But it's built on the foundation of Ryan Callahan, Henrik Lundqvist, Mark Stahl, and of course Dan Girardi. And then you have a group of guys that have all kind of grown up in this franchise. The question is, do you trade somebody away to bring in like a Rick Nash? Now they did that back in '94. They made some trades that they ended up, you know, regretting in the long run. In the immediate future, they won the Cup. I hope that doesn't happen with this team.
Another topic I got to ask Boomer about. You're a Jet quarterback. Jets are your team. You're a Long Island guy. What do they have to do now to get over the hump? Particularly, I want to go for a quarterback. Let's talk about Mark Sanchez.
Well, you know, the one thing about a quarterback, and you have to remember, in 2007, in the middle of Eli Manning's 4th year as the quarterback of the New York Giants, his own general manager said he was skittish. And that was late in the season after they lost the game to the Minnesota Vikings. And all he did in response to that comment was go on to win a Super Bowl and his first Super Bowl MVP. I will tell you that Mark Sanchez, believe it or not, is way ahead of where Eli Manning was at this point in his career. He's already won 4 playoff games. He's gone to 2 AFC championship games.
All on the road.
Right, and the problem for him, I think, is that this young man only played 1 year in college. He's got 3 years under his belt in the NFL, and he's played with some very unique personalities. And they even said here in New York that Eli Manning did not become Eli Manning until Jeremy Shockey was out of the huddle. I would maybe say the same thing about Santonio Holmes.
You're talking about high-end kind of guys, needy kind of guys. I mean, you've been in
well, you know,
guys like that.
And now to kind of compare this to Jeremy Lin, you know, Jeremy Lin's going to be playing with Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, Amari Stoudemire, guys who need the ball in their hands. He has to be the distributor of the ball. He has to be the guy that has to be above all the noise and all the stuff that comes along with playing like guys like that.
A lot of high-maintenance guys, and you got to survive.
And that's where Mark Sanchez has got to get stronger. Now, the one thing I love about what Mark did this year on Valentine's Day, he tweeted a picture of a heart-shaped box of chocolates to one Santonio Holmes, and he said, "Will you be my Valentine?" So Mark hears it, they all hear it, and I can only hope that when Santonio Holmes goes to training camp this year, he has the right message, he's saying the right things, and hopefully his actions will follow suit.